And our Swedish production also taught me how to pronounce his last name. It is SortOf, also known as Richard Bergman. Bergman, we all thought it was his name.
He's so nice, he never corrected us all this time.
Yeah, seriously. And that Overlord was a little bit slow to move, actually. Concerning.
Yeah.
Concerning sites, Wardy. But,
Those
yeah.
Overlord's moving quick, man.
It's going to be Reynor actually going for a pull first. So putting himself at a small disadvantage, just in favor, because he's not taking a gas or anything, right? So he's just going to take a small loss and choose to be able to defend something like a 12 pull a little bit easier should it show up. But it didn't.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where he's like, I'd rather just take the hit and be safe, rather than just sort of, taking the risk and giving myself more of a chance to mess up. So, he's it's a pretty typical move. And, sometimes this pool first can still get 6 lings, and they can sometimes be more annoying than you would expect them to be. So it's not all bad for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see. I mean, if he can manage to hide those lings, they can maybe arrive there timed with the queen spawning from SortOf or something like that, and try to do a little bit of damage. But we'll see what happens. SortOf, of course, will have seen this type of opponent consistently. So let's see if they can avoid the first Overlord.
Yep, let's see where they want to try go to. They make their way around the right, so yep, they will avoid the first Overlord nicely. Beautiful. And they will get across the map then, so we'll see how that will go.
Yeah, so SortOf has no idea that this is happening. Reynor has clearly just, like it's not much studying to avoid the Overlord, but it's a little bit of studying, a little bit of thinking about it, and he's managed to do it beautifully. So he'll get there. There will be 2 drones mostly exposed. The queen won't be out yet, but when it pops out, it could be in trouble should SortOf not be ready here. He does have 2 more links on the way, so he wasn't skimping on links, but these 2 drones are in a little bit of trouble already.
Yeah, chasing them down, but as the extra links show up, it looks as though he might just about make this out to be okay. I'm going to see lings on lings at this stage, although Reynor wins the initial fight there, and his lings have taken surprisingly little damage, I feel like. He backs away. I mean, if nothing else, just denying a little bit of mining on the low ground, a little bit of drones going back and forth. That actually does add up in a game like this where, Reynor's a little bit behind on drones. Specifically, though, in a game where he's going to start spamming lings, and he is just looking to get across the map immediately and to, really put the hurt on SortOf. But I tell you what, SortOf and Mainland that's coming up, he's in the best possible place to defend this as long as he does invest into a couple of Banes.
And he's even making an extra queen. So yeah, you're completely right, Wordy. This looks wonderful for SortOf so far. He is making a 3rd, which could be a little bit dangerous. But if he starts those banelings as soon as the baneling nest finish, then he should be in a fantastic position. That's a lot of circlings.
Yep. There's a lot of them going to move their way across, but of course SortOf is going to get a bit of a glimpse of it. He had been droning quite a lot, so a good few drones coming in, but there's a couple of Banes morphing again. Are they a bit too late? Is 2 going to be enough? Because obviously Reynor's pretty good at micro as well, right? So he could maybe dive around them. It definitely makes life difficult, and you can see Reynor already respecting the potential of those Banes finishing, splitting the links up a bit ahead of time as he dances all over the place. And now they all clump up together, though, and that Baneling connection's huge. But there's more lings coming in, and can these extra lings actually still get the job done? They're going to get both of the queens. 2 drones dead. You've still got a lot more drones to kill to be okay here in the work account, but killing the queens might just slow SortOf down a lot otherwise.
Yeah, this is looking good for SortOf now, though. He has stabilized. It looked excellent. I mean, that one baneling connection was huge. The second one whiffs, unfortunately, for SortOf. But Reynor not able to capitalize on having more links for a very short span of time. And when the rest of the links spawn for SortOf, it looks fantastic all of a sudden. I mean, he just has to defend. He should know that he's in a very advantageous position, and he is. He is 4 workers ahead, even though Reynor is just making workers now. So SortOf on the counter offense, he could do a lot here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And we do see Reynor, though, is very good at sneaking those lings by and very good at getting more out of these units than a lot of people would. So that's the one thing that's already notable, getting a few extra workers when it already feels as though it should have stopped. He now starts up his own baneling nest, and honestly, he's on his way to being in a worker lead if this continues. So
It's late, maybe. Though. That baneling nest is late, Wordy. I think that SortOf can get across the map and really just kill Reynor. Potentially, that's an excellent baneling shot as well. This one link leading a lot of links astray, but at least he's going to get a cancel onto this 3rd no matter what. I think he should look to push the issue, but I don't mind this as long as he's morphing those banelings and using that time to, get ready.
Yeah, getting rid of the third base is a huge deal. That's something Reynor will struggle with now, because obviously playing behind with, behind a third hatchery when you play with Ling Bane, that's a problem. And so is that Baneling Nest, which is about to finish, but is under some heavy fire. It finishes, we could transfuse. At least he will start him off in a few Banes, but it looks as though it probably will go down, and that's obviously going to open the wall, and of course means no more Banelings. So we are really getting into some trouble right here.
Yeah, Reynor did more full of the Banelings that he could behind this, and sort of kind of didn't use the Banelings right away. So that's a little bit concerning for him now, because now he is kind of at a small advantage, which is just about as good as a disadvantage against Reynor, right? So, I mean, it could have been better. He still has some Banelings and the Baneling Nest available, whereas Reynor does not. But I think he could have maybe even just detonated his Banelings onto the Baneling Nest while it was morphing, and then just had like one extra Baneling to zone out instead of letting the Baneling Nest finish and then Reynor get his own Baneling Nest or Banelings.
This is going to be tough still as Reynor tries to take a fight top left, but not really a fight he wants. He loses a few more Zerglings there. A couple Lings are sort of trying to go after that one Baneling. Reynor's going to get it kind of through for a couple Lings. Nothing major. Yeah,
but that was a big mistake by Reynor, in my opinion, because he just sacrificed all of his Banelings offensively when he can't make any defensively, right? So now what is he going to do? He doesn't have a Roach Warren whatsoever. This third's going to get cancelled again. Now he does have a Baneling Nest. I'm sorry. He did replace it, so maybe not the biggest hurdle there. But again, the third gets cancelled, and that's a pretty good state of play for SortOf.
Yeah, no, it's definitely very strong, I think, here. Is just going to be seeing SortOf just continuing to move around. That third hatchery unable to come up from Reynor. SortOf making the game-ending move right now as well, which is to go into that +1 missile attack upgrade and to get towards those roaches. So that's something that Reynor's not even really considered here yet, as SortOf deals with all of this aggression as natural. Reynor's going to lose out on that. Reynor's still just making Zerglings of 27 drones. I mean, just trying still to get damage done.
Oh, and yeah, Reynor's just relentless. That's the thing, right? He's all over the place. SortOf, even a very good mechanical player, was floating up to nearly 500 resources at one point in time. Now it's beginning to stabilize a little bit better, but Reynor just sending one Baneling here, one Baneling there, 6 Zerglings here, 6 Zerglings there. It's just obnoxious to deal with, and all of a sudden SortOf is kind of out of units here. He doesn't have any Banelings out on the field, and this is starting to get dangerous. At the same time, those 3 Banelings unaccounted for in the main of SortOf, they go off on the mineral line, and all of a sudden it's an advantage for Reynor.
Suddenly 8 drones go down and everything changes, and it's funny, right? Because all of a sudden Reynor's on a third hatchery too, right? All the disadvantages suddenly seem to disappear. Is it going to be enough still? Well, I mean, the roaches are coming out from SortOf, and that's got to be an advantage, as Reynor's going to play into his own Roach Roar now, but he'll be playing down the upgrade this entire time. So I'm still not thoroughly convinced, but I could be, you know? I could see potentially... I see how the comeback starts now for Reynor.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if it was the other way around, we'd be thinking that SortOf, or you know, if it was Reynor, that he'd still maybe have an advantage. There's 5 queens that are not going to help that much, especially once roaches are out on the side of Reynor. And right now he's on the defense as well, but it is Reynor, and the game seems to me kind of close to even, right? Like he's ahead in work now.
Yeah, no, it's 34 drones to 27. In fact, I mean, as long as you, basically as long as you didn't die to these roaches, and you're still going to be down the +1 missiles. But surviving right now is the current problem, and if you do that, you can worry about the upgrade disadvantage later. Maybe your current worker lead is going to do something about it. Ling's counterattacking, and Reynor already moving across the map and doing pretty well with this.
Yeah, really, really good. And now those queens, all of a sudden, now with Reynor's own roaches on the field, they gain a lot of value, because transfuse on the roaches is going to be extremely valuable. And Reynor, he is so good at not taking fights that he can't win, and he'll just poke and prod and see which fights are available to him all the time, right? Whereas SortOf is like, I'm losing that fight, and then he realizes he's losing a fight when he's already lost.
Yeah, here we go. Roach is going to move through. Banes are going to try and trade out on the left-hand side. Roaches deal with those. I love it. Reynor keeps his own Banes back for a little while and not using them anytime too soon. Reynor is going to get the GG out of SortOf. He just doesn't have any drones on the other side as they go down. What a turnaround by Reynor. And I mean, that's why he does this kind of stuff, right? It's just he's, you know, he puts himself in a position where, okay, maybe he's very behind because his all-in didn't work, but he can still play back into that. I mean, it just seems impossible, and yet he manages to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, he just drowned SortOf in actions. And again, SortOf is a strong mechanical player, but you look at that and you're like, wow, I mean, clearly one player is just much better than the other, right? And that's Reynor for you. I mean, that is scary to watch, man. Like, just every link seems to have or at least every group of links seems to have a mind of their own, and they're always active. You know, like that's the nasty thing about Zerglings, is that they are the fastest unit in the game. Nothing can catch them. So if you can pay attention to them, you just never take bad engagements.
Yeah, no, it was super well handled by Reynor, honestly. I mean, after the initial startup, obviously didn't go that well. Just did everything possible to turn it around. Turned it around. Genuinely impressive. Can't say really anything else, right? I mean, it's one of those games where SortOf's going to watch the replay and be like, really? I lost this? And he's like, how did I lose this? And then he's like, well, yeah, Reynor's just kind of good, right? Like, it's rough. Yeah. It's brutal. It feels bad, but that's just the sort of level Reynor is at, and sometimes you kind of just got to accept that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you look at that strategically, and you have not much to say, right? Like, you played it well, you did the right things. He just drowned you in actions. He was just better. Yeah, it's just, you know. Chad was saying to stop the count. If we stop the count at multiple times there, we would have given the win to SortOf, but unfortunately we can't stop the count. And Reynor.
Yeah, I mean, even like 20 seconds before the end, I'm like, well, SortOf still got that army pushing forward, right? But like, you know, you got +1 missiles. Then he loses more drones. The attack is being halted. Yeah, no, I love what you say, being drowned in actions. It's very true, right? Because Reynor really did just take the fights everywhere, and that was what was so good for him in the game.
Yeah, and if it's not fights, it's run bys, right? And if the run by is not gonna work, he won't do it. Like, he'll just see, oh, that's too many, I'm back. You know, like, oh, that's one link too many, I'm back. That's frustrating even to watch. It's scary, you know, like, it's like, oh man, I don't want to play this guy ever.
I know, right? It's one of these things where if this wasn't like ZVZ, people would be like, oh my god, Zerg's so dumb, right? Like, how can Zerg do this? But this is ZVZ, like, they have an even playing field, guys, and Reynor still does it. So maybe it's not always down to balance. Maybe some people are just really freaking good, you know?
Yeah, you could really see it. Like, that's one of the games of StarCraft that I've watched, and I'm getting shivers just from how good he is, because it's so clear, because they have the same units, the same exact tools. They're both professional gamers. And again, SortOf, I mean, his nickname is Mr. Mechanics, right? So it's just insane.
It is just insane. As we go to Mr. Mechanics in the bottom right-hand side of the map in the blue, it is SortOf.
This guy is, I don't know, Mr. Mechanics to some potency. It is Reynor. Or Clash.
I like the 12th pull. It just invites micro and chaos early in the game. That's where Reynor thrives. It just makes perfect sense. Light Shade is not a long map. It's already decent to play, 12 pull on as well. So, yeah, I like the decision for Reynor.
Yeah, Light Shade is a very short map. The one thing that I don't like about the 12 pull, from Reynor in particular, is that it delays his speed, right? Like, you can only do so much with the slow links. And he won't have them to play around with. Like, last time he went for a 12 pull against Hearthstone, I felt the same way. He did take that game anyway, but I mean, like, whenever I go for a 12 pull in CVC, I don't feel like there's much more that can be done. You know, like, I feel like if my opponent can just stop it, then they'll just stop it. Like, Reynor and Serral, yeah, they'll have like this little dances with the links where they rearrange them without like losing, the damage per attack, I guess. And they can do so like with small groups of links, like with just 2 and stuff like that. But that's pretty minor stuff that you can adjust. So I'm not sure how this is going to pan out, but I think it's an opening for SortOf potentially. Beautiful positioning, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've seen Reynor control some of these 12 pulls and make it look just completely broken at times. Let's see what he does. Obviously, so much of it is deciding when to turn around and fight with these lings against the drones, when not to turn around and fight as well, when not to be baited into that so you get even more damage on the hatch. There, he kind of sat on the hatch for a second longer, and he did take a bite without fighting back. He catches the first Zergling. He's going to get another one to the other side as well, so 2 lings go down very early for SortOf. Now it feels like Reynor already has a good fight here as well, though he does run into a surround of lings at the end, and this will settle down.
And I think that's a advantage SortOf, right?
Full workers I think is okay, though. He's going to get 5 now, if he gets 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with 5 workers killed, you're actually going to be okay. I think you can justify it.
Yeah, it's justifiable for sure. It's playable for sure, and I think that it is an advantage for Reynor because he's Reynor. But all in all, I think that goes fine. One thing to note about the positioning there, it's really nice, right? Like he runs past the initial. He doesn't just click on the hatchery. He runs past so that the links are all of the links are facing the ramp. So when the drones come down, he has the best possible position for all of the drones to turn around at once, or all of the links to turn around at once, and fight the drones in a line, which is ideal.
Yep. No, he did everything he meant to do right there, and it was very well handled by Reynor. Sort of like you said, it's definitely very, it's a hold, but you look at where he's at, and he is okay faster on link speed, and that's something to keep in mind. But Reynor definitely seems to have the income advantage and the worker advantage after this, so yes, advantage when you consider the idea of drones to Reynor, but maybe that tech advantage for SortOf is something that then could come through.
Yeah, for sure. And Reynor's accounting for that by completely skipping link speed and just going for that wall off. So if SortOf makes too many links, this could be dangerous. If he doesn't make that many links, however, it should just be fine. One thing that I don't like so much for SortOf here is potentially the main link nest. I'm not sure if he scouted the wall off. If he did, he would probably not commit, and we see a 6th drone added as soon as he scouted. So I think he's fine not to commit here. Just take a 3rd, and that bailing nest is gonna kind of backfire, right? Because it's not gonna do anything against the roaches, and it's otherwise a few drones that he could have instead.
Yep. No, absolutely. Spot on with all of that as Alair comes on through. It's about halfway done. We're into missiles. Sort of going to get the scout. Obviously, he gets that much faster 3rd hatchery, and that's something of it feels good, right? You're like, oh yeah, my 3rd hatch is faster. But it's again, Reynor was saying, well, I go behind on this because I'm taking a lead on that. And obviously, that in this situation is just going to be the tech once again.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's a pretty close game. I mean, neither player is going to be too disadvantaged here in this position. They're both going to be feeling pretty good, I think, except that you're playing Reynor, of course. So,
Yeah, that never feels good, right?
Yeah.
Well, Roach speed starts. Carapace from SortOf, which I kind of like. If he wants to play like Ling Roach and play something like a Ling Roach timing, that could be pretty cool. And that can actually be something which could still overwhelm a Roach army. So I don't mind the Carapace.
Yeah, it certainly could. I've heard oh, nice opening. Is this Reynor? No, it's SortOf. Very nice.
Yeah, the wrong guys running Lings in. As we do see Reynor handling it pretty well. Full scout though for SortOf, and that's really cool because now there's no, twist or turn kind of hidden behind the wall or anything. It's not going to be a surprise. I've got a spire. So yeah, really good information. And obviously Reynor has to sit back a little bit and defend that for a few moments. So yeah, nice little run by, SortOf taking a page out of his opponent's book.
Yeah, very, very nice. And now he's going to be making roaches. I've heard reasoning, like I was saying, for the Carapace before in this particular matchup, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. But I don't quite remember it, Wardy. I don't actually think that he's planning. Oh, he is making a lot of links. So it is what you were mentioning, just Ling Roach.
Yeah, because obviously Carapace affects Lings and Roaches, and it will mean that the Lings will still be 3 hits for the Roaches of Reynor, even when they have +1 missiles. The only problem is before Carapace finishes, those Lings are 2 shots, and it makes such a big difference. You're basically killing Lings just, 50% faster. So this is a good time for Reynor to fight, and this is going to be the troubling moment for SortOf, but the Lings in general are good because they keep those Roaches alive, and if he can just do that, get Carapace up, then he should maybe still have the numbers to hold on through. The only issue being that in straight-up Roach versus Roach war, Carapace is not as good as missiles in a direct comparison.
Yeah, and this is not too bad for SortOf. Big concave and 20 links were in production, but now repositions actually, and I'm not sure where the links are, but they're not showing up. They need to show up before these roaches continue to take damage. And now here there's some more links, but I don't know if it's enough at this point. It looks like Reynor might just have a little bit too much. Drones are having to be pulled, and I think we're seconds away from GG now.
Yeah, just nice push through here from Reynor, coming all the way through. GG from SortOf.